Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or find a way to lose. Please consider subscribing to the channel, hitting that like button, but more importantly, subscribe to the channel if you want fair and unbiased assessments and opinions on boxing matches. That being said, let's jump into it. Absolutely horrible that we may have to wait until 2024 for Bivol versus Beterbiev. And I'm going to tell you right now, I think Bivol will beat Beterbiev. But the thing is this, man. When it comes to Beterbiev, Anthony Yarde, and what we saw tonight, I mean, it's just, there's really no other way to describe it except for a violent display of boxing, man. And when you watch Beterbiev in the ring, it's things that man does. I'm telling you right now. I saw it tonight. He can get away with what he does against almost anybody at 175, but it won't work against Bivol. Beterbiev, when he throws that power jab, he doesn't just throw a jab. He throws a power jab. I was watching what he was doing. He will slightly crouch, and he will explode with his legs and then go forward on almost lunging, but responsibly lunging with a super powerful jab. And that jab does damage. It moves. It does more than get his opponent out of position. It does more than make them think. It moves them back. But it's not just him landing that jab. I noticed what he does. Sometimes it seemed to me that he throws it with the intention to graze the opponent, but he'll keep the arm out to where now the glove part kind of goes past the opponent's face. And now his forearm is on the opponent's face and pushing against the opponent's face, blinding him from the powerful right hand, sometimes chopping right hand, Beterbiev will throw. He was catching Yarde with that tonight, and I was like, that is clever. He'll throw it to land, and other times look like he was throwing it, in my opinion, to intentionally miss. That way he can use it to get Yarde's head back or to disrupt his view, blinding him. They come in with the right hand. And I said, that is magnificent. Plus, he throws, his punches are not wide, man. He'll dip his head to the right and make you think he may come with, throw a shot with the right hand, and then he comes with a left hook. It's things he does that you could just tell. Yarde had no way to, there's no way in the world Yarde could have prepared for this guy Beterbiev, man. You know, man's been fighting since 2012 as a pro, has over 300 fights. I did a breakdown the other day. You figure the first 200 Beterbiev amateur fights were against tomato cans. The other 100 plus were probably against elite fighters. 60 of those were probably the equivalent of like fighting a professional bout. That's why he did, that's why he turned pro a little bit later. This guy didn't turn pro at 18, 19, 20. He was still on the amateur circuit, kind of like what you saw with Lomachenko. So they turned pro later. They're already different animals. You know what I mean? That's why you see what they're able to accomplish in such a short period of time. But that being said, let me tell you, he retained his titles. Yarde did represent himself well. Yarde had a lot of success when he was on the front foot and coming forward. The problem is Yarde, see, when you start getting hit hard in a fight, it's the same thing like what you saw happening there. It was like what we saw with Adrian Broner, what you see with AJ, what you see with like Marcus Brown against Beterbiev. Like anytime you have a fighter who gets hit hard, right, the fight changes. They mentally stress. You understand? They go into retreat mode. But Anthony Yarde, he fought hard. He didn't go into full retreat mode, but he was thinking a lot about that constant pressure, how Beterbiev, if you watch, every time Beterbiev wanted to, he had Yarde on the ropes. Watch how he intelligently, he moves almost in like a semicircle. To the left, to the right, throw a jab, two jabs, may throw a hard shot, and then he dips, and next thing you know, he's got the guy cornered against the ropes, so he's right in his chest. Every time he wanted to, he cut the ring off and had had Yardy against the ropes. And let me tell you something. We can talk about Boots Ennis against Chuck Hodgson, right? Boots, this is what if I was Boots' father, and this video is not about Boots, I would bring Beterbiev into a camp to work with Boots. Spar, show him how to cut the ring off. Because what Beterbiev was doing was just amazing. Now, don't get me wrong. Yardy wasn't moving around the ring as much as the guy Boots fought. But what I'm saying is that is what you call elite boxing, elite IQ. Beterbiev, to me, did every single thing right. Even when he got hurt, he didn't stand there to prove a point. Beterbiev, he shows no emotion like Miguel Cotto. I know he got buzzed a couple times in that fight. He showed no emotion. But his body language told a story. When you get a man who doesn't start to go back, that means he's in trouble. Y'all remember those famous words when Floyd Mayweather Sr. was telling Oscar De La Hoya about Ricardo Mayorga? Same thing to what you saw here tonight. But Beterbiev just showed, man, the power. It's the power and the conditioning, man. And, once he started to really turn it up, you could just tell. I mean, the fight actually lasted a couple rounds longer than what I thought. I thought it was going to end a lot sooner. And you could just see the effects on Yardy's face. And Beterbiev took some shots too, but it's just going to be tough for anyone outside of Bivol to beat him, man. But, when you think about it right now, where they have Beterbiev ranked, I don't really go much off of ESPN's pound-for-pound list because, that's biased as hell. But he entered the ring, man, at number 8 when it comes to the pound-for-pound rankings with ESPN. He's ranked a lot higher when it comes to pound-for-pound rankings everywhere else. But when you talk about what he does, man, it's very, very methodical, man. And there was somewhat of a firefight between him and Yardy, but let me tell you, he hurt Yardy a lot, but Yardy buzzed him too. We got to give Yardy credit. But it's a difference in Yardy stunning Beterbiev and Beterbiev damaging Yardy. That was the difference. Yardy would stun Beterbiev a couple times, but you can see as far as what Beterbiev was doing to Yardy, it wasn't stunning him, it was damaging him. And when he got that knockdown, I think it was the 8th round, and he got up, his corner stopped the fight to prevent him from getting permanently damaged because that's what was coming. The lion smelt blood, and lions do what lions do. I'm telling you, it's instinct, animal instinct. And that's what you have in Beterbiev, man. But the thing is, he's vulnerable. And, I've said this. You've seen it in other fights where he gets knocked down. He can be hurt. You know what I mean? He's like the Russian in Rocky. You know what I'm saying? You just got to find the vulnerability. But once you expose it, and if you have the conditioning and you have the strength mentally to stay in close quarters and keep letting your shots go, you may have something. But look, those chopping right hands, those looping hooks, looping rights that he throws after he gets you hurt, he's on you, man. He doesn't back up. He's not giving you time to breathe. You go left, you're meeting the left hook. You go to the right, you're meeting the right hand. You happen to fall forward, you're meeting an uppercut. And it's all natural. It's just reaction. That muscle memory, that's from years and years and years of training as an amateur, as a pro. And that ultimately, in my opinion, was the reason Yardy lost. It's just, you can't turn pro, start boxing at 19 and get in here and expect to just totally, destroy or outbox someone who's been doing it for so long with such an expanded amateur pedigree, man. So when we talk about light heavyweight battles, look, great one tonight. We know that the sanctioning bodies and the WBC are blocking the undisputed distinction from taking place at 175 because they're forcing the mandatory Caleb Smith on Beterbiev. That's already a done deal, people. So get Beterbiev and Bivol out your mind. So we're now basically say we're here in the end of January. It's February. So you figure by the summer, June maybe, Beterbiev will be fighting Smith. He should knock Smith out, no problem. And then maybe by the end of the year, you get Bivol. But we got to see what Bivol's doing because Bivol is trying to sort out what he's going to do next. Bivol went on record and said he's going to wait until Beterbiev is available if Beterbiev can beat Caleb Smith. But that's a long time to be out the ring. So Eddie Hearn, Fast Eddie, is trying to work his magic and make a fight between Bivol and either Okolie or Bivol and Canelo. But he's also trying to make Canelo Ryder. So Eddie Hearn's trying to line things up for Bivol to have a fight here in the next couple months, and then maybe later this year fight Canelo, which then could push the fight between Bivol and Beterbiev into 2024. But that fight he's trying to make with Bivol and Canelo, Bivol's not interested in that. He already, beat the brakes off Canelo. And then why would Bivol drop down to 168? Eddie Hearn's talking about if Bivol comes back and if he wins, then we'd look at giving him an opportunity at the undisputed distinction at 168. Hold your horses, Eddie Hearn. Don't take it to the stupid. Like y'all doing Bivol a favor. Bivol already said he don't care about the damn money. That man's about legacy. He already had a legacy. He beat Canelo. He beat the brakes off Canelo. Why in the world would he sit there and allow y'all to manipulate his mind to thinking that you're doing him a favor by giving him a shot at the undisputed distinction at 168? Get out of here with that. Bivol's far from slow. He may not say much. English is his second language. And maybe his third language. Maybe his fourth. In a lot of those other countries, man, guys speak 3-4 languages. But he's not stupid. So, that being said, I don't think Bivol is going to go for the Canelo rematch unless it's at 175. If Bivol was about the money, he would have agreed to 168, put himself at a disadvantage, and then Canelo gets a win. But it wouldn't count because, again, Canelo, he's a pound-for-pound best face of boxing. I like Canelo, but we know he learned from Mayweather about being the A side, and we know Canelo will weight drain somebody if he can. Doesn't seem like he's going to work with Bivol. So to me, that was one of the best light heavyweight battles I've seen. But when it comes to Bivol and when it comes to Beterbiev, let me tell y'all something. Understand what I'm about to tell you, all right? Bivol he should be ranked number one on the lot because the way he did Canelo, he should be ranked number one on everybody's pound for pound list. I know we got Crawford, you got Inoue and stuff, but Bivol is up there, right? But let me tell you something. They're both Russians, right? They've been circling each other for years, man. For years. We were hoping to get that fight here in early 2022, but, it is what it is when it comes to boxing, the politics, the sanctioning bodies. The man is unified champion, Beterbiev. All the sanctioning bodies want their belts defended. But for right now, let me tell you, if those two were to fight for everything, all 4 belts, I'm going to tell you right now, Bivol beats Beterbiev. Fascinating clash of styles in the ring. I get it, man. We talk about Beterbiev, 100% of KOs. And to me, to just call him a puncher or a knockout artist, that's not correct. He is a boxer puncher. He can box, he can float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, or he does what he's grown accustomed to doing because he can get away with it, walk you down and beat you down until eventually he gets you out of there. All right? But the thing is, Beterbiev has never faced anyone like Bivol. We talk about Bivol and Beterbiev. They all do a lot of things the same. Cutting the ring off, the ring generalship, the jab, how to get the shots off, the type of angles, being able to do chopping right hands, looping right hands, coming over the top with the right hand, right? It's a nice array of punches that they deliver, right? And they have a very effective system of delivering those shots. But this is what I'm telling y'all, man. We talk about the competition. Bivol has the legs to dance around that whole fight, and then he can fire on a dime. He can also fire. I'm talking when I say fire, I mean let his punches go as he's moving. And he throws in combination. And he's going to make Beterbiev think, and think a lot. And I'm not saying Beterbiev isn't going to have some success. I just think he's battling somebody who has a very similar mentality, very similar background, and someone who, like himself, is accustomed to finding a way to win. But you got to look at Bivol. He's taller. I'm not going to say he's stronger, but I'll say he's just as strong. But the ability to box intelligently, and to just create the right amount of distance to get his shots off and then get out the way. Beterbiev kind of reminds me of Canelo in a sense, but Canelo's just super flat-footed and had a horrible game plan against Bivol. But I'm telling you right now, in my opinion, right? That is an extremely compelling fight. But when you take a look at Bivol's legs, Bivol's jab, the way he throws combinations, and if he gets you going back, how he doesn't let up, but he knows when to disengage. I'm telling you, in my opinion, Bivol beats Beterbiev. But it kind of sucks that the boxing politics are coming into play now and could be, precluding that fight from happening this year. It's horrible. Absolutely horrible what's happening. But that being said, man, we will see just how the rest of the year goes. But I know for a fact, Beterbiev, man, he's busy. He's got one more fight. So we know he has one more fight after that. I don't know what's going to happen. We got to see what's going on with Bivol. I know he has a fight coming up. Then after that, he should be available. But that would have given Beterbiev 2 fights before he fights Bivol, and really only given Bivol 1 fight. I know he just fought Canelo, but really, he needs to get back in the ring and to stay active and knock some of that rust off. But it is what it is. Anthony Yarde, his stock rose. Anthony Yarde did well. Proud of Anthony Yarde, but then again, you just got to understand. There's levels to this, layers to these guys' game. I think his game is going to improve. I think we just see that Beterbiev, what we've already known, there's layers to him. He's getting up there in age, but he seems to be getting stronger, smarter. Condition is still improving. And then we know what Bivol, what we saw with Canelo, layers of his games, level to this, and he seems to be only getting better as well. That being said, I'm looking forward to the fight between Bivol and Beterbiev. I think those are going to be the last 2 standing by the end of the year, and hopefully they can make that fight before we go into 2024. That being said, y'all keep cool. Shout out to the veterans, all 7 continents. Subscribe to the channel. Consider donating. Hit that like button. Stay safe. Love all, hate none. I'm in the breeze.